So the first step, I turn the power off to my well pump. So this is the small pressure switch found on my pressure tank. We're not going to kind of go into the details how that works, but basically we're just going to be tracing these wires that is going out into my yard, into my well. So the wires coming from the outside, again from the well, right, and they are being fed by the main power wire, which then kind of goes up into my breaker. So I've turned the power off going into this, and we've connected two wires up from our tracer. So our red lead, which is what's going to be sending our signal from the wire tracer, the transmitter, through the red wire, which is right here. All right, so then that will send the signal through that red wire all the way out to the well pump. I could basically use the black wire, I could use the yellow wire, it really doesn't matter as long as I'm getting a contact from that wire that goes to where my destination is. All right, the black leads are grounding lead. So if we were in the field, I would just stick this into the ground. Again, using a little ground stake or a screwdriver, whatever I could get ground contact to. But since I'm in my basement, I could actually hook this right to the pressure switch on the ground terminal. All right, so these wires are going to trace back. Let me get out of my utility closet. So they're going to trace back to our transmitter. So our first step is to power our transmitter on. We'll kind of get a little display showing the company name, what they kind of covered in that video. And we're going to have basically a couple different functions. So we're going to have broadcast or clamp. So broadcasting or clamp is going to either broadcast out through the case, so we could pick wires up that are in the ground without having to connect to them. But sometimes we don't get that good of a signal. All right. We could then go a little bit step further, which is clamp on, which is using this clamp up here, which is an inductive clamp, which will then kind of transmit that signal through the wire without having to actually break it or disconnect it or kind of do what I had to do. Still not a very good signal if we have to trace a very far distance. And then the third method is going to be direct clip-on. So we're going to actually select direct clip-on right there, and then it's immediately going to say power OK. So power OK means that we have a good signal into our wire, and we could even see how much power we're putting out there. And let's say we know that that wire is a pretty far distance away, then we could actually bump that power level up, and you can actually kind of hear it beep a little bit. So since it's in power OK, we're going to be kind of just using that, and then we could hit, and then we could basically change the track. So we could go with high frequency or low frequency, and we'll stay with low F. But whatever we select on our transmitter, we also have to select on our receiver. So once it's set like this, we're good to go, and then we could head out in the field and trace our wires.